The NFL Draft recently took place and it was a ratings hit. There was some controversy with it even happening, but it went through smoothly and was a much needed distraction during these, as the millions of commercials out there have put it, difficult times. Feedback has generally been positive from the sports world except for one element of the broadcast. It was a production decision to seemingly highlight every major tragedy and difficulty the player drafted had to overcome. This is an old move commonly seen in performance shows like American Idol to emotionally make the viewer feel connected to the performer, and therefore invested in following them in future episodes. But the criticism has been immediate, with publications such as The Athletic wondering, "We want to know players in the NFL draft, but when is it too much information?" And the Sporting News created an article saying, ESPN criticized for telling stories of NFL draft prospects' family tragedies on broadcast. NFL player Bradley Chubb had a highly retweeted and liked take saying, "I understand everybody has a story and motivation. ESPN doesn't have to highlight the worst moments that happens in some of these folks' lives." Many of the comments on that tweet contain a lesson Hollywood surely needs to understand but seems to be having problems doing so. People were tuning into the draft as a form of escapism. Life for all of us is stressful during the time of social distancing and deaths from COVID-19 virus. People simply wanted a rare chance to glimmer at what normal life used to be like and tap into the hope of the future, which the NFL draft represents probably better than any other live event. Every fan imagines a change of fortune for their team with the new player added to their roster. And for the players drafted, becoming an NFL player is the culmination of dreaming, hard work, and good fortune for themselves and their families. It is 100% about hope and positivity. To bury it in an unnecessary blanket of sadness and exploitative tragedy porn did nothing but take away from all the positivity the event should have generated. Going back to that tweet, there was one well-liked reply that did an excellent job of explaining why the NFL production went in that direction. The tweeter explained that the NFL knows that die-hard football fans would be watching the NFL draft even if it was broadcast in black and white and announced only in Farsi. The NFL was trying to pull in those viewers who had generally little interest in football but would watch for the human interest stories. So like Hollywood as of late, the NFL decided to make unpopular changes to expand the number of eyeballs viewing their show. But here is where Hollywood needs to understand a key difference. The NFL did pander for ratings' sake, and even still, very few of those fans who got anything out of the tragedy porn will be suddenly converted to fans interested in the game of football if they weren't already. A small percent might check out a game or two to see how that player is doing whose uncle lost a leg in a fireworks accident, but that's as far as it will go. Still, nothing that the NFL did had any impact on the actual game to be played on the field. There are not going to be downs taken away to give broadcast time to sad stories. No scores will be adjusted to make sure that the team with the greatest human interest stories advances to the playoffs. In other words, nothing that was done in the NFL draft production for pandering's sake has any impact on the quality of the sport. Hollywood has gone in the opposite direction, sacrificing movie craft elements such as character development, good plots, and story logic to pander to agenda groups. The end result has been bad movies and dead IPs. Movie studios will always try to expand their viewing audience. That is to be expected as investors demand growth. But if these efforts serve to the detriment of the product on the screen, you get no new real fans and lose the ones you already had. NFL will have its dedicated fans year after year as long as the high-quality entertainment delivered on the field continues, no matter how poorly conceived and executed side experiences are. For movies and shows, however, changing the product to appeal to new audiences who aren't really drawn to the product on its own is not a future worth drafting. Thank you, Civilian, for tuning in. Long live Moviecraft, and we hope you receive some benefit from this dossier. And remember, always say cheese, because if there's a picture, our agents are on it.